to get around the fact there were no deed restrictions, you know. So one of the nuisance things was that there was an overgrowth of 9 inches. That was a violation of a city ordinance. That doesn't mean one blade of grass is 9 inches overgrown, or even 17 or 700. It means the whole area is overgrown 9 inches or more. But somehow interpretations leave a lot to be desired, and 9 inches of grass somewhere, anywhere, can get you fired, or thrown out, or ordinanced, or talked about. Well, that lady who was on the lawn naked, frozen there until I could bring a sheet for her, screaming about how the grass was hurting her. Somehow the neighbors thought that was my lady. I was like, whoa, 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 my lady's a respectable lady. How dare you call my lady a crack whore? How dare you? She been here longer than you've been here. And the doctor, Pat, it's Pat, would never say hello, except for that one time I was driving by on a bike. I said, Pat! Turned head, saw it was me, and went dead, you know. Oh, that ostracization, that outsidering. That works on people who've been inside sometime, but we're just the neighbors. Come in from the farm, meaning no harm. Trying to be comfortable here, you know. So this guy that showed up working for the management company, living there for free, calling in all the ordinance violations, was only calling in on us. That was really strange. I went around the neighborhood, documented all the different ordinance violations that there were, but I guess if you don't call on them, it's not a matter of due diligence for the inspector people. It's just response to calls. And at some point someone said, my gosh, there have been so many calls. It almost sounds like harassment. How could you be that bad? So we got the mayor involved and the congressman. They told people to stop responding to the stuff, you know. We still had a year to wait to fix everything and leave it fixed. But responding to the calls stopped happening. Now this is an old house, and it's got problems that need fixing, you know, leveling and loving and doing to the insides. But because Mr. Ordnance neighbor, because he, as it turns out, was job tasked to give us enough trouble to make us move by the management company, I'm sure. Really, I think it was just because we're poor. No trust fund babies here, you know. Living on mama's teat, like a hypocrite, like a parasite that might just explode with selfishness and self-pity sometime. Because they couldn't find a way to make words rhyme, they couldn't find a job, they couldn't find anything that suited them because they were so special. I know that myself. I'm special too. So things were getting crazy at work, and it had been 5 years since the last time that anyone called. They'd had to call a sheriff to get the guy that the ordinance thing was involved with out of the house, you know. Yeah, they called the sheriff to get that guy out of the house. He took the toilet and the fixings and everything that could be unscrewed or lifted. I guess when you do a job, well, you need to get paid. And just because we didn't end up moving didn't mean he'd failed. He'd made life miserable for over a year, you know. Glenn claimed that you know, he didn't know the tactics the management company was using. And then he started dying and changed his mind about everything, maybe. Well, that same house went up for sale just about 2 months ago. And don't you know, the same stuff started happening again. The ordinance violations. But this time with a new twist. Because there were new neighbors in town. They had taken the old Thomas down, you know. Blamed him for not keeping up the house. Well, I thought that was the landlord's job, but you know, after 35 years of living there and paying rent and keeping them going and helping them out, they got kicked out. So that little boy came home from the army, the prodigal son, to come be close to mama, next door to mama, you know. Yeah, be close to mama. Close to mama, get himself a wife because, you know, a house fell on him, and that made him seem more desirable, maybe, you know, because, you know, it just kind of like fell on us. Now, little baby boy was always fixing to get a house and mama's love. There's no doubt about that, but the wifey let a house drop on him, you know. That was good. And so my lady, she, thinking these were nice new neighbors, she started to plant things in the garden, make it feel just the way she wanted to feel, you know, a little over the top with a little over to the top with the wildness of the plants, but that's what she believes. She believes them plants should be, you know, really beautiful and wild, kind of free growing and not like cultured or pulled up every year like some folks do. You gotta have a yard that has nothing to do with stuff growing. It's just grass to cut. It's more like having to do with stuff cutting. The destruction of nature, the cutting down of anything that grows.